It's 1 a.m. on October 6th, the morning of the night of October 5th. I am in the emergency room right now, as you can see by my emergency room gear. And that is the end of the story. And let's go backwards a little bit. So I'm here because I was, my right leg, I noticed 3 days ago, was really toned, and my legs are pretty flaccid. And actually, Wednesday morning, I woke up and was like, whoa, it was hard, and it felt like a normal leg. And I've been doing vibration therapy, and thought, well, it's working, but it just sort of kept getting bigger, and to the point where I had a doctor look at it, and I had a doctor look at it because I was already at the hospital. To come to the emergency room, I just had to go downstairs because I've been staying at the hospital for the past few days because my dad is here. And he was admitted last Friday with, he had 105-degree fever and went into septic shock, sepsis, which is life-threatening. And he's got some other conditions that are very much like a bone marrow cancer, and has been getting daily transfusions, and his numbers of his cell counts on his platelets and his white blood cells and everything are so low that on my drive down here a few days ago, based on what the doctors had said. So the emergency room doctor just came by. I had to take that pause. We'll get to that, what he just said. My dad had this condition, and I drove down a few days ago based on the numbers he was showing of his white blood cell count and all these things, was that the doctors didn't understand how he was still alive. And his numbers had been low for a while, and fortunately there's a doctor at this hospital who's become a very close friend of my dad's. And so he's been here, which is great. We know we have somebody for sure you can trust, and I've been talking to him, and he basically told me that every minute you have with your dad right now is a gift. And I drove down a few days ago thinking, this is the day or the week or the time that my dad is going to transition. And I will stay with him indefinitely until that happens. It's a matter of, they thought, literally days. And the fact that he was still around with his numbers, they were amazed. So, been dealing with that. And my dad, God bless him, he's a fighter and he's stubborn. And we had a meeting, the first morning I was here with this team, palliative care and social services and the doctor and my sister, and it was like, well, basically, like, what do you want your plans to be for dying, for all intents and purposes? And he's still so lucid, and his mind is still so sharp, and he's just like, I feel good, and his body's failing, and he's like, I don't want to die. Well, let's do what we can. It's crazy. And getting daily transfusions, his numbers weren't going up, and very, 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 very outside chance to even possibly get a consultation at City of Hope. And even then, it was just like, he wouldn't be good enough to ever leave the hospital, and would never happen, but we kept hope up and for him. And now fast forward in a couple days, his numbers are going up, and they're still really low, but they're going up. And he's actually going to get discharged tomorrow because you need to be discharged to make an appointment with City Hope. And the past two, we can only just say, trust me when I tell you the amount of arrangements and phone calls and coordination that's been going on between my sister and myself and so many different parties and so many people and so many contingencies. And so now he's got to go home tomorrow, and they loaded him up with some blood and transfused him, and he stood today for the first time, and it's like, just make it through the weekend at home, and we have home health care, and then hopefully on Monday we'll be able to go to the City Hope still for 2 days, trying to find out when we could get a consultation, Monday or Tuesday. Monday, hopefully, and he just make it, stay alive until then, and then drive him to the City Hope, and then have a consultation, and then if they even have something they could do, like a clinical trial, all his blood cell counts, everything is so low, the chemotherapy would kill him. And so the thought of just in this condition, what people would sometimes do, they'd give chemo, eradicate all of the bone marrow to nothing, and then put new bone marrow in, but they'd said he just won't survive that. But you never know. I don't know what he'll survive anymore, because he's here telling stories, doing his thing. And so I'm sleeping here at the hospital, and he's going home tomorrow. Is the plan. And I just found out from the doctor that I'm getting admitted to be here overnight. And he took his the ER doc looked at the ultrasound, and his initial thought was that it didn't look like a blood clot, but he thinks that it's an infection, and my leg had developed MRSA. I got that about a month ago and took antibiotics, and I have some wounds, and you can't mess around with paraplegia, so I'm getting admitted to the hospital to go get an intravenous antibiotics for the night. And so I may be in the hospital when my dad goes home from the hospital. And I came to visit with him on what I was told would be his deathbed. And now I'm a patient, and he's going home, and hopefully I can go home tomorrow and be with him, because I was going to stay with him at his house as long as I can. And so I don't want to be in the hospital for that. And this is all so crazy. And I don't know why it's all happening. And there's so many little details inside all of this, these general stories. But I guess there's some sort of divine perfection about it, and I don't know what it is. But we've had an amazing time together. Some amazing moments these past few days. And there's a reason for this. And here it is. So we'll see what happens. On to the next thing. Expect nothing and everything. Who knows? But I just continue to have gratitude to be able to keep riding this ride, because it's fun in many ways and sad in many ways. It's super wild, filled with love.